morning, everyone. My name is Kaylee, and I am one of the recruiters here at our Central Campus. This is located off of Glendale and Glen Harbor Avenue. We do have 4 locations. I'll talk a little bit about as we wait for people to join. We have 4 locations total. We have one out in Surprise on Dysart and Grand. We have one in 19th Avenue. We have one out in Buckeye off of Verado, and I will partner with a couple community colleges as well. So it just really depends on what program you take and what campus is closest to you. So today we are at Central Campus. This one is in Dale. We'll show you around. If you have any questions throughout this tour, make sure to write them in the comments. From time, it will get a little laggy, so just hang on tight, and hopefully the connection is we're going to So the classroom that we have up here is our avionics and drone electronics. I'll go ahead and show you the classroom, and then it's kind of the same. So you won't see 2 different areas. Normally we do have a classroom and then a different lab setting, but we'll go ahead and show you this one. Is our classroom area, so students will be in here for a short portion of time. It is a lot of hands-on work, but they do still have some in-seat time as well. So this is the classroom portion, and this half is the lab. Over to different types of things. All of these are super hands-on. They get different types of like electrical circuits, things like that. So avionics and drone electronics is a lot of electrical stuff for the aircraft. So this is all the electrical side, so all of the communications, like the weather that the planes can know what they're getting into, all of those kinds of things to control different types of functions on the aircraft. If you see back here, this is kind of like a simulation of an aircraft. So this shows different things like that, different buttons that they can do, and then it will show what exactly that function does. So they get to really see how all of the functions of the aircraft work, how the electronics go. And if you think of an aircraft that has so many little gauges and buttons and so many things, so if we need to make sure that all of these are wired correctly, the students do learn how to solder, so that kind of combines 2 pieces of electrical wire together. So they really make sure all of the electronics are running. We also have drones a part of this program. You don't necessarily fly these here because we are next to an airport. So we can't go out and fly these, but you do learn how to set up all of these, put them all together, and do all of the wiring to make sure that they work correctly as well. If you have any questions about avionics and drone electronics, we can answer those at the end of the tour, so make sure you put those in the comment section. We're going to head out and go downstairs. This area right here is our little break area. Our classes run for about 2 hours a day depending on the program. So students would attend either their home high school, charter private school, or homeschool, and then they would come here for just a small portion of the day. But they do have a small little break room just because classes are longer than what you normally have an hour. So there is some break time included in your class. So this is just a little area to grab a snack, get a drink, things like that. This does look like a normal high school. This does run like a normal high school. We do have a principal. We're going to head over to our welding program. I'm going to see if we can pop in here really quick. Come on in. All right, so this is our welding program. This one is a 2-year program as well. As you can see in here, there are different types of welders in different work areas. You use welding from your tables, your cars. There's so many things that are welded together. So right here is a weld. So welding is joining two pieces of metal together through some sort of heat source. These are welding boots. And they would weld in certain areas. They can learn how to weld in different positions because not always you're going to be welding on a flat surface, so they learn how to do different types of things in this booth. There's a bunch of stuff to kind of clean off your weld because once you weld, it kind of has a coating over the top that you want to get off. So you want to make sure that that looks nice. Area that they can do different types of things like grinding and other welding. We have some other welders back there, but this is just joining two different pieces of metal together through a heat source. that they lay the bead. So these is the metal, so they lay the bead, and it just kind of heats them up and joins them together. Then you have a really strong hold. So all of our programs here are certification based, so that means that you would complete whatever program, and then you take a test for a certification at the end. So each program, it does have certain certifications associated with it. So whatever program you're interested in, we have program information sheets, and it lists specifically what certifications you have. Our precision machining. I'm going to see if this one's up good. It's open. So this is our precision machining lab. They do have a separate area where they are in a classroom for a little bit of time. Here, the first year, they learn how to work on lathes and mills. So this is where they'll put different types of metal into the machines, and they'll kind of work their triangles. So a lot of times it looks like screws and bolts and things like that. They learn how to read different types of blueprints. So they do all of these manual mills and lathes first. A few pieces come off. So they do really precise things on these machines. They read different types of blueprints to see what exactly they would be making, and then they would put it into the machine. They would put some sort of metal in here that would clamp down, and then they would do whatever they needed to follow their blueprints. Mills over here. So this is pretty much the same idea. So they have different types of blueprints. They put their piece of metal or whatever material they're using, and then this helps them make whatever they are designing. So this is all mostly manual. Students a lot of times will learn how to make different types of metal pieces, or I'm trying to see if there's anything over here. And then later on, they learn how to do the computer-aided design. So this makes a lot of different types of molds and things like that. So a lot of things that you use daily, like your chairs at your school, those are usually part of the program. So this is a CNC machine, so that's, the students learn how to pretty much write a code that this machine understands. So if it wanted it to do a certain function, it would type in a code on here, inside of here, close the doors, come back a couple hours later, and then they would have a finished product. So this is a lot more efficient, but you do need to learn how to use the codes on these ones. So when you're in the program manually, they're over to the computer-aided design. Pretty awesome. And the machine, so a normal program wouldn't be able to get a machine like this. So that is what is super special. Some of our programs here and equipment that students get to work on. Our 2-year programs. So you would attend here usually, depending on the program, we have times from 1 to 3:30 or here in the afternoons. That's why there's no students here right now, because we do afternoon. So now we're going to head over to our law and public safety. They do have a classroom upstairs by the Avionics and Drone Electronics program. This is the lab where they learn a bunch of different things. Law and public safety over a lot of different areas of public safety, security, some forensics. So it covers a little bit of everything if you want to go into some sort of either forensics, police officer, maybe even lawyer one day. It kind of touches on different types of fingerprint identification. So this is a little bit of the forensic side. They look at fingerprint identification, different types of spatter, and how to identify that. There is this little area in here. They use airsoft guns, so they do learn how to properly and safely use guns. Scenario, so it has almost like a video game that kind of watches you as you go through scenario, and it kind of catches your. They do have some equipment here as well, so they do some physical training. You never know what you're going to run into, and you also carry bolts and things like that. So we have dummies in here. This is a mock. This is probably like 120. So they need to know how to move them from the bed and kind of take them out. So they need to be able to lift this and not injure themselves. So this is kind of what a mock jail cell would look like. So if you wanted to work in corrections or anything like that, you would have that opportunity as well. They do different types of physical training. There's a lot of different components on surveillance lab, so they get to look at different types of and cutting. They do outside work sometimes too, so sometimes if you're here, you'll see kids running around pretending that they're like in a mock chase scene and things like that. So very hands-on. Yeah. We are going to go over back to this morning. I'm going to talk about our aviation maintenance program because we don't have the position in that area in there. And then we'll go over and show you the hangar, and then we will come back over here. Classroom lab area for our coding program. This is also a 2-year program. This setup is a little bit different because they don't necessarily be all in here, because for coding they are working on computers. As you can see right here, this is a server, so you can kind of see the components of the server. They have a cooling system on the back. And for coding, they can make different website design, special applications, so like apps that you would use on your phone. And then they would learn how to code for different things, special functions that they would want either websites to do, things like that. So this is our coding area. The never ending. It's fine. About our aviation maintenance program. That is pretty much all working on different types of aircrafts, learning how to fix and repair engines, landing gears, all those things to make sure that good morning, to make sure that the aircraft can so we're going to head upstairs. I'll tell just a teeny bit about kind of the different airplanes, and then we will come back in here. So we do have an airplane hangar, so it's pretty awesome because we do have different types of aircraft. So you can see a little bit better. So this is our hangar. As you can see, we have a lot of different types of aircraft. They all look a little bit learning how to assemble and inspect different things. You can see some of them their wings, or the front end is taken apart. So here they're really learning how to maintain the aircraft and make sure that everything is good during flight. On here, so they need to make sure that those are working properly. So as you can imagine, when they're flying, it kind of wiggles, and as they kind of wiggle, there's a mechanism in there that makes sure that they tighten so that they don't come apart while they're flying, and they don't lose any bolts or anything like that. It's probably one of my favorite labs just because it's so cool. They also do have a painting section as well, so that you learn how to do different types of paint and repair in that sense as well. So pretty much anything mechanical on an aircraft. Landing gears, propellers, engines. This is a 2-year program as well. This one does have a little more hours than our normal programs because they do have different certifications with this. There is one certification through the FAA. I'm sure each of those are. So you guys would be here for a couple weeks over the summer as well. All right. We're going to head back downstairs, and I will answer any questions if you have any, and just cover any last minute details. So that was a tour of our central campus. Like I said before, all of our programs are certification based. So you would come here for all of our programs here are 2 years. So you would attend a program for 2 years. At the end of it, you would take your test for your certifications, and then you'd be certified in whatever area of program you're taking. So pretty awesome opportunities here. We do have 28 programs. There are only a few here. At some of our other locations, we do have other programs as well. Were there any questions? No? Okay. If you guys have any questions after this, or if you are rewatching this, you can always schedule a office hour appointment with any of our recruiters, and we would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks for joining us today.